Hey, how's it going, guys? Back with my second review from The Crypt. I finished watching Season 1, Episode 2, titled "And All Through the House." It is often hailed as the greatest Tales from the Crypt episode of all time, and I know it's definitely a favorite among fans. A lot of you guys have even commented on it already in my past video, saying you were looking forward to this one. And I can definitely see why. It definitely is one of my favorites as well. Not my number one favorite, but it's definitely in my top 5. There are just a few more that I prefer to it. If you guys have seen the original Tales from the Crypt movie from 1972, then this story first appeared as the first segment in that movie, and then it was later remade into this episode. Originally, I always preferred the movie segment, I think, more so than the episode, which is pretty much the opposite of everybody else. Everybody usually likes the episode better. But I do have to say, after rewatching this, I actually changed my mind, and I do prefer the episode a bit more. But maybe that's also because I haven't seen the movie in a while. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch the movie sometime soon and see if I still feel that way. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, more than I think I ever enjoyed it before. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe because I was getting hyped up for it with all the talk about it, and everyone's saying this is such a great episode. And I always remember it being really good, but as I said, I think I enjoyed it a lot more this time. It has a really great score, and you have music, Christmas music playing as well, of course, but it also has a nice little score. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Fred Dekker, stars Mary Ellen Trainor and Larry Drake from Darkman and Dr. Giggles. And then, Mary Ellen Trainor is the mother from the Goonies, and she's from the Monster Squad, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard. So, pretty cool having both of them in the cast. The story takes place on Christmas Eve, and basically Mary Ellen Trainor plays the wife. Her name is never stated. And first, let me read the synopsis before I get into it. It says, the holiday shopping season runs late when an axe-toting maniac dressed as Santa makes a Christmas Eve visit to a philandering wife who murdered her hubby. Sorry, lady, he's not offering an escape clause. Gotta love the cheesiness of Tales from the Crypt. Almost like the Crypt Keeper's lines. But, yeah, so basically, Mary Ellen Trainor plays this philandering wife, and she murders her husband with the fireplace poker. He hits her right in the head with it from behind. She also has a daughter who comes down and sees, the guy's body sitting there on the couch. He's still in an upright position, and the daughter, of course, is very excited about Santa Claus coming because it is Christmas Eve, and she keeps saying how she wants to see Santa come, and Mary Ellen Trainor, the mother, tells her she needs to go to bed, so Santa will come. So the little girl says goodnight, and she says goodnight, Joseph, who's the stepfather, who's now dead. The little girl says something, like, oh, why doesn't Joseph say goodnight to me? And the mother says, oh, Joseph's sleeping, and then the little girl says, well, Santa Claus will wake him when he comes. And then the mother says, no, not even Santa Claus can wake up your stepfather. So, again, some of that cheesiness of Tales from the Crypt, but pretty fun stuff. So anyway, she puts the little girl to bed. She tells her she needs to go to sleep so Santa will come. The little girl says she can't sleep because she's too warm. So the mother opens up the window just a crack for her. Of course, the snow coming in and stuff. As I said, it's Christmas Eve, and I always think that little girl is going to be freezing after this, but the mother even makes a comment of that. She says the one thing you didn't ask for was a cold, and if the little daughter is really hot and you're opening that window with the snowy night, chances are she's going to have pneumonia. Never mind the cold. But anyway, again, just the joys of Tales from the Crypt. So the mother returns downstairs to dispose of the body. She starts dragging the body out of the house, and as she's dragging it out the door, there's a news breaking on the radio and in the middle of the Christmas music, and it's a newscaster saying that an escaped mental patient is on the loose in the area, and they're warning everybody to stay inside their houses and lock the door because the guy has been murdering his victims with an axe, and he stole one of his victims' Santa Claus outfits. So basically you have a maniac Santa Claus on the loose, which is what everybody knows about this episode. That maniac is played by Larry Drake. So anyway, she's outside. She didn't hear the news bulletin. She's trying to dispose of the body. It looks like she's going to be throwing him in the well. And of course, the husband comes back to life for a second. Just as in any other horror film or horror show where there has to be that kind of jump moment. But he ends up dying ultimately. There was a scene prior to this where she calls her lover. Apparently, she has a lover on the side, and that's why she killed the husband, just for his money. But nothing original there. It's pretty much not important, I guess. You can pretty much assume that anyway. She's killing him just so she can have his money. There's the scene where she calls the lover, and she has like the the will and testament of the husband in her hand, saying, "Oh, it's all ours now, honey. You know, we have all the money." So anyway, she's out there ready to dispose of the body, and sure enough, the maniac Santa Claus shows up, attacks her. He ends up fighting him, knocking him out a little bit. He falls into the snow and makes a print in the snow that looks like a snow angel. So anyway, you know, the woman runs back in the house and attempts to call the police. And as she's on the line with the operator, she realizes she can't tell the police because, you know, her dead husband's body's outside, and, you know, she doesn't want to get blamed for killing him. So she ends up running through the house a little bit. Then she realizes that, you know, she can just blame, you know, the maniac Santa Claus, you know, for the death of the husband. So the police end up actually calling her back, saying that they're going to send a police officer over there because, you know, they're worried about people in the area because of the psycho on the loose. The wife ends up telling them, you know, that the psycho Santa Claus is there, and, you know, they need to hurry up and get there, that the Santa Claus killed her husband. So they tell her to stay on the line and to lock the doors and get a weapon. So she goes up to a room where her, you know, her now dead husband kept a gun. She goes in the closet to get the gun, and of course locks herself in the closet because, again, you know, it's just, you know, nothing original there. It's just like any other horror movie or horror TV show. So now she's trapped in the closet. Meanwhile, she looks out the window and she sees a ladder being placed against the house, and sure enough, the psycho Santa Claus is climbing up the ladder toward the daughter's room. So she's screaming, trying to get out of the door, trying to break the door open. Meanwhile, it shows the daughter with her head out the window, you know, saying, "Come on, Santa, come up, I'll help you up." And of course, he's going right for that open window that was left open earlier in the episode. So the little girl's trying to help Santa up. Santa's trying to reach the window, trying to crawl up there. And sure enough, you know, of course, the little girl thinks this is the actual Santa Claus and not some psycho, even though he's got some, you know, terrible teeth and really bad hygiene, and a bloody axe, of course, in his hand. So, you know, all that's going on. Mary Ellen Trainor's still stuck in the closet trying to break her way out. Finally, she busts it open, runs out of the room, runs upstairs, and the daughter is not in the room anymore. It's just completely empty. So right now, I'm going to say the spoiler. If you guys don't want to listen, mute it right now, because as I said, I'm going to talk about the ending of the episode. So yeah, to anybody else who's still listening, she runs upstairs, the room is empty, and, you know, she runs back down the stairs, and as she turns the corner, here comes a little girl, you know, with holding the Santa Claus's hand, saying, "Look, Mommy, I let him in." And, you know, Santa Claus kind of comes out from behind a door or whatever, and Mary Ellen Trainor just starts screaming like a lunatic, you know, just screaming for her life as the Santa Claus stands there with the axe in his hand, holding the little girl's hand. And, you know, it zooms in on Larry Drake's really gross teeth in this show, and, you know, he says naughty or nice, and it just goes back to Mary Ellen Trainor just screaming and screaming and screaming, and that's how the episode ends. You know, I had read that originally they didn't have that scream portion in the end of the episode, kind of like the segment in Tales from the Crypt movie, where it just kind of, you know, she kind of turns a corner and boom, the Santa Claus is just right there, and then it just kind of ends. I always liked that ending in the segment, and I think that's why I always preferred the movie segment more than the episode, because it kind of just happens, he kind of just pops out of nowhere, and, you know, you're kind of left to be thinking, okay, now she's stuck in the house with them, and, you know, you're left to kind of think about it for yourself, whereas I think this lingers a little bit too much on Mary Ellen Trainor, you know, with the screaming. It's kind of like, you know, you want to think, well, why isn't she running or doing something? She just kind of drops down on the stairs and just starts screaming. I mean, she has the whole house to run through and try to hide at least, or get a weapon. Not quite sure why, you know, they decided to go with that ending, but, you know, it still works. It's still definitely an enjoyable episode. Larry Drake is an awesome psycho Santa in this. Definitely a great Christmas horror themed episode, and, you know, I really enjoyed it. I can definitely see why a lot of people like this one. It's pretty cool too, seeing, you know, Mary Ellen Trainor, as I said, you know, being the mother in the Goonies of all things, and, you know, seeing her in this role was pretty cool. And as I said, Larry Drake was just awesome as the Psycho Santa. So I can definitely see why this is a favorite among fans. As I said, it's definitely in my top 5 favorite episodes as well. You know, it starts out with some Christmas music, which is awesome. And, you know, I really like that. Anything that has to do with Christmas and horror works for me. And as I said, it does have a nice score of its own as well. The little girl is kind of annoying in it. I've always thought that she's just pretty annoying. I don't know, just the things she says and the way she acts. But I don't know, it kind of works, I guess, because she's just very naive and oblivious to the fact that she's letting in a psycho killer in through her window. But, you know, other than that, I mean, the episode definitely works, and Again, it's just such a very memorable episode, and one that, you know, I have probably watched almost more than any other episode. You know, as I said, there's just a few more that I prefer to this one, but it's definitely one that I've watched the most. So yeah, definitely like this one. Definitely one of the best. My favorite episode from season 1. You know, with that being said, there's still, you know, 4 more episodes to go in this season that are all pretty good. Season 1 was a pretty good opening season. Yeah, so I'll be back soon with the next one, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please comment below, let me know what you think about the episode. You know, as I said, I know a lot of you like. I know there are a lot of fans of this episode. I'm just curious to know what you guys think, and we can discuss it a bit more. So thanks for watching, guys.